But I think it is more than fair to say that we might just see some sluggish and sloppy football. There's endless possibilities. It's week 0 for Christ's sake, and we haven't seen any of these teams play. Ain't no way, man, ain't no way. I can't believe it's here. We are finally making our first preview / prediction video for the 2024 college football season. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's here. It's time. This season is not even right around the corner. It starts in 2 days. Granted, I know most people won't get extremely excited, and I probably won't either myself until week 1 when you got all the great games, but we still got the Seminoles and Georgia Tech playing on Saturday. I believe in total on Saturday we have 4 games, so at least there's some college football that's going to be going on. And I'm going to tell you this early in the video before I forget, but I'm extremely excited to see this Florida State ball team play. And it's not just for one. No, my friend. It is for multiple different reasons. Reason number 1 is we know what happened last year. I don't want to remind Florida State fans too much, but they felt like they got snubbed. I am not going to talk about what transpired with the playoff. They didn't get in. Alabama did. We talked about that nonstop last year, 24/7 for a couple of weeks. It's in the past. It really doesn't matter at this point in time because you got to forget it. You got to move on. But however, with that being said, I am curious to see how they do move on because we knew heading into that Georgia game, they probably weren't going to move on. They're still going to have a sour taste in their mouth, and that's what happened. Are they officially past that? I hope so. That's all I'm going to say, and we won't know until they play. The second reason why I'm excited to see the Seminoles play, because they got one of the most intriguing quarterbacks in all the nation, and that's DJ Ugbadugi. I think he's an okay quarterback, but here's the problem with that. Florida State fans aren't good with just being okay. You got to be good or great. If he throws a couple interceptions, has some turnover problems early in the season, I don't think Florida State fans are going to be too pleased. So not only am I looking forward to seeing how he does with Florida State, I'm looking forward to see how the fan base reacts to how he does. Another reason why I'm so excited to see Florida State play is because I want to see if they're the real deal or not. Was last year a fluke, or can they continue this success? As far as it goes for the game itself, let's talk about it. Let's pull it up. I believe I checked a few hours ago. Florida State is an 11-point favorite, and now they are 10.5-point favorite. This is an 11 a.m. kickoff, so you better wake up bright and early on your Saturday morning because we got action. Well, I say bright and early. 11 a.m. is not really early, at least in my humble opinion, but you get what I'm trying to say. We got an early kickoff. Now, I know what some of you may be sitting here saying, Matt, come on, man. Why are we even previewing this game and talking about it? And that's a fair question, but I have an even better answer. Like I just ranted about for the first couple minutes of this video, Florida State, they intrigued me. But secondly, this is the first major college football game of the year, so I feel like it's only right. On paper, I think the consensus all across the nation is, oh, Georgia Tech hasn't been relevant in a very long time. Florida State's a really good team. State's going to win by 2 or 3 scores. But like the man, the myth, the legend himself, Lee Corso says, not so fast, my friend. Do not, and I mean absolutely do not, underestimate this Georgia Tech football team. Am I going to sit up here and try to convince you they're a perennial powerhouse and they're on the rise to the top and they're going to be a top 10, top 15 program? Heck no. But, and I have a big but, you better believe this, what I am going to try to convince you of is Georgia Tech isn't a team you want to mess around with. I'm going to throw a name out there and it might ring a bell, especially for my SEC fans. Haynes King. Where have you heard that name before, you may ask? He was a quarterback at Texas A&M before transferring to Georgia Tech. And last year, he had a decent year. It was a quietly good year. He almost had 4,000 yards of total offense and had 37 total touchdowns. I think offensively, Georgia Tech, they should be A-okay, worst case scenario. Got the quarterback coming back. They got good wide receivers, good running backs. They're not going to be bad. My biggest concern with Georgia Tech, and it's almost everybody's biggest concern, is their defense. They've been quite awful the past couple of seasons. You don't got to be a rocket scientist to figure out. If you don't stop the run against Florida State, you're not going to have a chance. Because by stopping the run, you then force, guess who? DJ Uiagalelei to beat you with his arm. I firmly believe that's the only way Georgia Tech has a shot to win this game, and I mean a legit shot. You got to make DJ uncomfortable, and that means he's got to throw the football a lot. Because remember, he can also beat you on the ground, and I do expect him to have some quarterback design runs. Mike Norvell did an excellent job in the portal this offseason getting some skill position players, and 2 of those he got from Alabama. Roydell Williams, running back, and Malik Benson, wide receiver. If you kept up with the news in the offseason of last year, you would know Malik Benson was supposed to be one of, if not the best wide receiver for Alabama heading into the 2023 season. However, it never came to fruition. Things just didn't work out. He entered the portal, and now he's at Florida State. and he's kind of in a similar boat here. Quite a few people are expecting a lot out of him. Will he produce? Well, it's one of those things where, and I feel like I'm going to say this a lot throughout the video, I guess we'll have to wait and see. This is a knock on the wide receivers, not even to the slightest, but I'm more of a fan of Florida State's running backs. A large reason for that as well is their offensive line. I think they're going to be a problem this year, and I mean a good problem. I think Florida State has the capability to straight up bully teams and ground and pound them. Will they do that? Don't know, but I think they can do it. We've talked about Florida State. Let's go over to Georgia Tech and talk about some of their notable players you need to watch out for. At the wide receiver position, not a shadow of a doubt in my mind, Eric Singleton, he's the guy. The offensive line group does worry me because we know Florida State, their front seven on defense, they're going to be pretty good. How good, don't know quite just yet because they did lose some pieces, but last year they were one of the best in the nation, and I expect them not to fall off too much. With all that being said, let's get into my prediction and the reasoning for my prediction. Take this how you want, but in my humble opinion, I firmly believe if you pick Georgia Tech to win this ball game, you have something wrong with you. No offense, but just look at the cold hard facts. Georgia Tech is better at nothing. It's just the cold hard facts, man. Georgia Tech isn't better than Florida State at anything. For a team to beat or upset an opposing team, they got to be better at something in some area of the game. With this one, Florida State's just overall the better team. Not to say that I don't think Georgia Tech can't win, because I do. There's a slight chance. But it is a very, very, very small chance. A lot would have to go wrong for Florida State, and a lot would have to go right for Georgia Tech. It had to be the perfect storm. I don't think DJ Ugabadoogie going to go out there and light them up either. He might throw at max 14, 15 passes. This is going to be one of those games where I think Florida State's offensive line just takes over and they ground and pound Georgia Tech to death. I expect all the Florida State running backs to go off, and Georgia Tech, they're just not going to stop them. The only way Georgia Tech can stay in the game is if they can keep up with them on the other side of the ball. I think right now is where it stands. Haynes King, the quarterback for Georgia Tech, he has to score at minimum 30 points to give his team a chance. Florida State's crossing that 30-point threshold. You better believe it. That's my magic number. You want to win Georgia Tech? You got to score 30 points, and that still might not be enough. I will take the Cinnamon Rolls in this game. By the way, shout out to the Cinnamon Roll fan base. 35-17. I like that score. One thing I didn't touch on in this video, I just thought about at the end here, is this might sound dumb, and you're going to say, well, Matt, duh, obviously. But this is the first game of the season for both teams. What does that mean? Why did I bring it up? Well, they're not going to be clicking on all cylinders. At least I don't think they will. Maybe I should have taken that into account in my prediction, but I'm still going to stick with Florida State 35-17. But I think it is more than fair to say that we might just see some sluggish and sloppy football. Although I'm not predicting this, I wouldn't be shocked if this is only like a 17-10 game, 24-10, 24-17, something like that. But on the grand scheme of things, I think it'll even out because both teams, they're going to make mistakes. Very rarely in the season opener does one team just go out there and they play a flawless game and they dominate. I think Georgia Tech's best opportunity is maybe Florida State gifts them a pick six or scoop and score, and then they get a stop at 3 and out and they score a touchdown and they go up 14-0 just like that. Then you'd really put the pressure on Florida State because they're going to feel like they have to pass the ball, and like I've told you guys in this video, that is a recipe for success. There's endless possibilities. It's week 0 for Christ's sake, and we haven't seen any of these teams play. And oh yeah, by the way, I will be doing a reaction video as soon as this game's over because, come on man, we got to react to the first college football game of the season. I'll see you guys at the end, and that will be the official I'm Back video. Can't wait for it. I'm curious. Let me know your thoughts down below. But Ramana.